Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Jake from today'siphone.com, and oh my god, we have so much stuff to talk about this week. Okay, first and foremost, the front and back plates for the next generation iPhone leaked onto the web in first some blurry, low-resolution photos, and then some super high-resolution, detailed photos showing just every single aspect of the new iPhone's design. If this is legit, that is. Now, these pictures came from a bunch of different sources, but the best ones are coming from 9to5Mac, who claims to have gotten the pictures from people within the supply chain. The biggest difference to the design is, of course, the back of the phone, which is mostly made out of aluminum now. It's an aluminum unibody piece with some sort of glass or plastic at the top or bottom. There is now a microphone in between the camera hole and the LED flash, which is good because the flash has been known to mess with some pictures when it's so close to the lens like it is on the iPhone 4 and the 4S. Now, flipping the device over, you will see that there is space for a bigger screen. This new iPhone isn't actually any wider, but it is a little bit taller, and it has room for a 3.999 basically 4-inch screen. Now, obviously, there's no way to know if this is what the next iPhone is actually going to look like. It looks pretty legit. I'd say if it's not what the next iPhone is, it's definitely some sort of prototype. It's definitely Apple made. You can tell by just the precision of the design and like the pictures and the internal stuff where all the components would fit in. It's all just so precisely designed and manufactured that I'd say it's probably definitely Apple. Now, of course, there's more than just me saying this to convince you. There's been a lot of leaks and stuff about this leaked design to lend credence to it. Mark Gurman, a blogger who is notorious for getting these types of rumors right, confirms that this design does match up with one of the devices that Apple is internally testing right now. There's also been some leaked schematics for presumably this device. The design in these schematics looks almost identical to the design that we've seen leaked. And a Japanese site called makokatara.jp even got the front panel, the bigger 3.99-inch screen front panel, captured on video, comparing it to an iPhone 4S, so you can check that out as well. And the evidence is definitely stacking up. Okay, moving on from the next version of the iPhone, we have some leaks about the next version of iOS, which is iOS 6. BGR got their hands on Apple's redesigned mapping program. It's Apple's custom created, not Google Maps. It's like Apple's been working on their own mapping service. Now, not much is known about it, but it does look pretty awesome. It can do like 3D imaging and a bunch of location-based 3D models and stuff, and it's very cool. And one other thing to note is that in the screenshots for this mapping program, the interface is like chrome silverish, different from the blue and black theme that we've seen throughout iOS since its inception. So that also is making people believe that Apple is switching up the color scheme of iOS, which I think is probably a good idea. We've had the same color scheme for a while now, and something as simple as changing the color of like the menu items and stuff can really make a system look newer or updated or just different. Now, there's also a bunch of information in the iOS 6 beta, which 9to5Mac got their hands on, about the processor of the next iPhone, the GPU and the kernel and all that stuff, and it's all upped and looking good to go and very exciting. Also rumored for iOS 6 is a redesign of the App Store, iTunes Store, and iBook Store. Apparently, Apple's looking to improve on the interactivity between the three stores as well as the social aspect, including Facebook and other social network integration, which leads us to our final iOS 6 rumor that Facebook will be integrated into iOS just like Twitter was with iOS 5. You know, the send to Facebook, the update status right from the phone. You don't have to go to the app. I'd kind of rather Facebook work on making a decent application than partnering with Apple to have like a watered down list of the features into iOS, but to each his own. Now, your biggest question is probably, when are we going to see official releases of these things? Well, WWDC is around the corner, and that's notorious for Apple launching new products. There's no way of knowing what Apple will launch. I'd say we'll probably see some new MacBooks, probably see a preview of iOS 6. I don't think we'll see the new iPhone. I think that's going to get its own separate event sometime in the fall, but you never know. Either way, though, the keynote, the most exciting speech where Tim Cook and whoever else will announce all these awesome new products, or some of them, is June 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So definitely make sure to stay tuned to Today's iPhone during that time. We'll have live vlogs and up-to-date news and pictures and all that stuff that you really want to see, so much so that you crashed our site last time. Okay, well, that is all the big news for this week, guys. Thank you very much for watching. But before I go, I'm going to leave you with a question of the day, and not surprisingly, this is about the new iPhone design. If the design in these pictures is the design of the final iPhone, are you happy with it? Are you not happy with it? I personally, I like it. I didn't really like it at first when we saw the first mock-ups and stuff. But now that we're seeing like real photographs of the hardware, presumably from Apple, I've taken a liking to it. So let me know in the comment section down below if you'd buy this device or if you're gonna pass or stick with your current one and move on to Android or something. I'd love to know what you're feeling, and you can also let me know on Twitter at TIP_Jake. Don't forget the links to everything I talked about in this video in the description down below, so please go check those out. And as always, for more news, views, and reviews, definitely check out today'siphone.com.